Welcome back, everybody. Today we have another episode in the life of crypto land. And in my opinion, you're going to love this one. Yes, we are in the middle of a crash. Yes, it does look big and red. And yes, people are already wearing their sensitive hats about what could happen next. But I'm going to go ahead and share with you, as someone who's experienced a lot of these moments, what I'm looking at. Because today the market is more complex, more interesting, and there are more nuances to how you can play this market, how you can benefit from it, and the ways that you can observe what's going on right now. So if you guys are excited for me to break this down and explain why, yes, this is the worst crash that we've seen in the last few months, but no, I'm not panicked. I do think things can get worse before they get better, but it's important to realize that these are a significant part of what happens here in crypto, what we're experiencing right now. Many people, they come in during these good times where we've had months of bullishness now, and they forget that this is what's happening, which is you get these wild run-ups, you get these wild corrections. And then if you know how to take profits on the run-ups and then get ready to buy the corrections, you can actually achieve supremacy here in crypto land and break free from the shackles of financial entanglement with the legacy system. This is the goal, is to deliver some life-changing gains. And it happens during these ugly moments. That's when the best work happens. That's when I get fired up. It's very, very exciting. So if you guys are excited for this one, there's now 3,000 of you already in the house. Please smash that like button, destroy it. It's all I ask. If you tap that like button, we can help share this information with others, and we can prevent people, hopefully, from making terrible decisions. Again, I'm just sharing with you my own strategies, but hey, we wouldn't have 500,000 followers here on this channel, over 1 million across here in Twitter, if we weren't doing something right. I believe that we've given this audience the most opportunities for upside and helped prepare them for the inevitable corrections like we're seeing today. And I'm going to walk you through how I'm going to play these next few weeks, because there's always an opportunity right now in crypto land. So you're definitely going to want to see this one front to back, because it's packed with value, not just on what's going right now, not just what's going on right now, but what's about to happen. Because I actually stumbled upon what I think of as possibly the most important piece of news surrounding legislation. That's right. There is a huge amount of confusion right now around legislation. Now, I've always been a relentless optimist around legislation, because in the end, money talks and BS walks. And guess what crypto is all about? Money. And we have enough money in this system, in this ecosystem, in these networks, in the innovation, the brain drain, the literal cognitive IQ economy here is astronomically valuable. And so when you have something like this is a once in a lifetime change. You don't stamp it out. The regulators might act tough, but they're waiting to see what happens. They want to create a good framework. And today we have some evidence that we have an incredible step forward there. So we're going to be talking about the crash. We're going to be talking about regulation here and how we've just had, in my opinion, the most positive step forward in this entire regulatory discussion since the inception of crypto, I dare say. And then I'm going to finally tell you about how the market dynamics are going to play out over the next few days and weeks. I think you're going to love this one. So please destroy that like button. 4,500 of you already. Let's see how high we can get these numbers today, because I think we all need to come together in the spirit of Thanksgiving and get excited about what is some pretty hefty discounts here in crypto land. With that said, let's dive in and we can talk about it. I'm gonna actually respond to a few questions, respond to a few comments here. Somebody said something about what their mom said. I'm sure it was funny. Shout out to Matthias, Lucite, Galib, D Fresh, Look Deeper. Shout out to everyone. I see a lot of UFO fanboys in the mix. That's right. We do have obviously UFO we covered, and it's been about over a 50x. So come on, guys, you gotta love it. No pre-sale, no proprietary stuff here, just on market deals, and that's what we love to bring to the audience. Elio being 90% down. What should I do? Thanks. I don't know how you're 90% down on a day like today. That's pretty confusing. What could you have bought that's down 90% right now? Most things are off of their local recent highs by just a few percentage points, 10, 20 maybe. I don't know where you were shopping, because none of the coins we've been talking about on this channel have been down like that. Looking at Vulcan Forged making new all-time highs today. Looking at Sandbox chilling a little. I guess it had a little blow off top here at 14. 14% higher, but still we started covering this at 50 cents, pushing it hard at 50 cents. So I'm not sure if you were really following the channel, how you could be down like that. UFO, of course, crushing, moving its way back up towards that 5,000. I guess it's chilling here, having a little bit of a recovery. But as you can see, it's been pretty much up only since we started covering this. So these things are natural. We can see after this huge run, maybe something like this is in the cards, like a little chop here before we get a nice breakout. We also have Ethereum, again, a leading indicator, getting a nice little pushback here. Look, whenever we get this big of a number, this big of a red number on Bitcoin with 8% down, we're going to see ripple effects across the market. Now, what I do like about this is on red days, you start to get to sense and see where the market is trying to focus. Sometimes the red days are the most instructive and informative. Not always, but sometimes. Here, Anchor pumping, I'll have to check in on why that is. Obviously, we started covering Anchor a lot in the DeFi era of, I think it was June of 2020, I started covering Anchor. But more importantly, Gala Games here is still holding strong. And this has had one of the most astronomical runs over the last few months. So when we see that the games are not quite dumping, we see that the rest of the market seems to be a little bit worse off than the gaming sector. We have Cadena, which had this like ridiculous run coming down, Zcash, Loopring. Honestly, this is just not all that bad. But the question is, more importantly, what comes next? What is the next iteration of this market phase? And for those people who might be stressed, thinking, hey, we were about to break up to all-time highs, again, that's what history would have essentially suggested, is that if this was anything like 2017, post-Thanksgiving, we get this massive run. Now, that's not to say that's not possible, right? But right now, it looks like the market is correcting and refueling. It's a bullish reaccumulation right now. And that's as long as we stay above the sort of low $40,000 range. We can literally go down to the low $40,000 and still be in the same fractal that we experienced in 2013 and 2017. So that's the reality. Now, here's my take on this. I'm going to give you my take on this current correction. The reality of this bull run, and by the way, I saw some people joking that I always say the reality of or whatever. Yes, I do. I know I say that a lot. I might make t-shirts that says the reality is or something. Let me know. Smash like if you would buy that t-shirt. So what the reality is about this correction is that this slows us down, right? We could go look at Crown's video from this morning. He talked about the over leveraging. He talked about a bunch of reasons why we came down and hit his target of 53K. That's not important. What's really important is the cycle, right? Are we in a bull cycle or are we entering a bear cycle? Now, I'm strongly of the belief that we're still in a bull cycle. So when you see these dumps and these massive corrections in a bull cycle, that is typically evidence that there is a sort of reaccumulation, a little bit of a sort of ripple effect where the market will consolidate and take its time. Now, the more that we do this, the more that we break from prior 4-year cycle expectations and that we prove out the lengthening cycle. Benjamin Cowan, one of the other most respected YouTubers here in the crypto space, is a very, very big proponent of the lengthening cycle. Now, a lengthening cycle that would eventually have a maturity of the same parabolic nature we're used to, well, that means that we would get a much higher valued Bitcoin and we'd have much longer in the bull cycle. Longer in the bull cycle is amazing because it doesn't matter just the gains that Bitcoin makes here. Look, we're not in the time that Bitcoin has gone just from 60,000 here or 65,000 up back up to 65,000. It went a little above it this time. We got a fake out in this time where if you were holding Bitcoin, you would have just been breaking even if you bought up here and you were holding, or if you bought down here, you would have been up like 50% or something, maybe 100% if you bought the ultimate low here at 30,000. The reality is that we've seen 50x gains in projects like UFO. We've seen astronomical growth in the Vulcan Forged, in the sandboxes, in the Axes, in all of the projects that we've been banging the drum about here on the channel. And that's the magic, is that the longer this bull run goes on, the more hot narratives we can find, get ahead of. Just like I've been really getting excited about ZK Rollups, which is a new mega trend. And I guarantee you, because everybody knows the impact once we've gotten behind and once we've been excited about a mega trend like gaming, like metaverse. I feel like it's almost like I can't hear the word metaverse again. It's so popular now. And this channel was the first one just going crazy about it for years. We're going to be the same thing about ZK Rollups. And by the way, this doesn't replace the gaming narrative. Gaming is everything for taking crypto mainstream. But the question question is, what technology does the game use to enter the blockchain world? And we're still looking to figure out what the best version of that is. And so for me, ZK Rollups is a perfect marriage with what's going on with DeFi and gaming to really bring it into that mainstream adoption cycle. I believe it could be the cart that gets us there. Of course, something new could come along. But the point is, ZK Rollups could be that mega trend that helps really sort of fix these issues that are stopping everything from going mainstream in the products that want to. So this is great. The point is, the longer these corrections go on, the longer the cycle extends out and takes a while to go completely parabolic to those $100,000, $200,000 Bitcoin targets, the more chance we have to bang these 10x, 20x, 50x, and more growth in the gaming sector, in the DeFi sector, but most importantly, in the mega trends of gaming and hopefully ZK rollups if we can get some decently priced ZK rollups out there. We're going to be doing more coverage of ZK rollups in the coming days. So make sure that if you guys are excited about ZK rollups and their potential for the future, then you should absolutely comment your favorite ZK rollup below this video and tag me on Twitter with it. Because the reality is that this is a huge, huge, huge movement. I'm going to go ahead and make sure I have this. Great. Okay, so we're going to add this in for the end. Oops. Okay. So diving in here, I wanted to just quickly cover the fact that these lengthening cycles are very good, very, very good for everyone in the space, and allow us to make way more money, not just a little more money, but hundreds of times more money than if the cycle had just peaked right now. Because then you just have the bags you've had, you take the profits you take, you move on. Now we get hopefully another 2, 3, maybe versions of this. That's the hope. But let's talk about this, because this is, to me, everyone, if you've been excited or scared rather about regulation, you think you've been lost, feeling like you wanted better explanations about what's going on here, this is for you. This is one of the biggest pieces of news I've seen. And when you look at the price dipping in a climate where we're looking at potentially the first regulatory clarity that we've had in this industry in the literal 13 years that it's existed, then smash that like button, because this is going to be a big piece of news if this passes, right? Here's this article posted in u/Belgian politics. The most important piece of regulation on cryptocurrencies in the world has arrived. I read through all 405 pages of the proposal for EU regulation on markets in crypto assets, so you don't have to. Here are my conclusions. Thank you to this person. Everybody say thank you, Belgian politics guy. I present to you the most important regulatory framework for cryptocurrencies so far, quote, proposal for a regulation of the European Parliament and the Council on Markets in Crypto Assets and amending Directive EU 2019-1937. Okay, the TLDR here. For some context, this will be a long post, but sometimes long posts are necessary. Bear with me. Okay. The proposal for regulation is the most important to date in the crypto industry. It establishes rules for the issuer offerers of crypto assets, also known as the foundations, developers, and companies behind tokens, the crypto asset service providers, also known as exchanges and custodians. These rules will have to be followed by every entity operating in the European Union. However, because of the, quote, Brussels effect, there is a very good chance that these rules will become international standards in the end. Okay, the Brussels effect refers to the proliferation of EU-introduced rules and regulation that start to influence global policy. Again, everyone's focused on the US and China, and EU is casually leading the way. We know that the US and China are scared to actually regulate this stuff because they're worried that they might approve something too dramatically or disapprove it too dramatically, thereby stamping out innovation or thereby condoning something to a degree that could hurt people, could hurt the economy. Let's put it this way. These regulators in the United States have no idea what to do. So this is a very important piece of legislation that, if this starts to set a trend, could in fact be amazing. And I'll go ahead and give you a spoiler. It's incredible. This is incredible. If this goes through and this becomes the sort of law of the land that ends up influencing American and maybe by extension Chinese policy, this could be the most important turning point in the regulatory battle for crypto. So hold your pearls, clutch them right now. It's going to be awesome. Okay. The point here is that he's now going to discuss these rules. Actually, I'll just keep reading through. This is important that you get the full scope here. So the Council of the European Union, all EU ministers of finance and economics, has just given its permission to start negotiations with the EU Parliament. Basically, things just got real. If they approve both the proposed regulation, it will become EU law. I expect that the regulation to be voted through relatively easily with only minor amendments. The final legal context to become official EU law will thus be very similar to the current proposal he will be discussing. So let's get to the point here. Here's what they're proposing. If you guys are excited about positive crypto regulation, pay attention. Okay, A, crypto assets that are unique and not fungible with other crypto assets, no regulations, aka NFTs, digital art, NFTs in general that are not necessarily fungible. They don't talk about semi-fungibility here, like editions that are all the same thing. That we didn't talk about that, but in general, this feels like NFTs are getting a pass, a desperately needed pass, because they are not securities. They are not the types of assets that really fall under normal frameworks. These are just digital things. You can't treat them like stocks. That's just not what they are. So this would be massive, huge, huge, huge win. Okay, utility tokens, no regulations. This is quite possibly the biggest thing in the entire industry, because the utility token argument has been the one that every single crypto company or crypto project that has tried to create an ecosystem of utility and value is expecting as the rationale why this is not being used solely for the investment, for the expectation of profits, but these are actual useful goods that allow for you to do actions or participate in ecosystems. This would be one of the biggest, most important regulatory firm ground clarity rules that we've ever seen. And in my opinion, this alone would unleash an absolute tidal wave, a tsunami of investment and interest into crypto if different institutional investors were highly confident that they had legal and regulatory clarity around utility tokens. This is the floodgate opener to me, in concert with NFTs, which I think have just barely entered their infancy, right? So if we know that none of this is a regulatory issue, then this is a huge, huge win. Crypto assets offered for free, no regulations. So free launches, the types of fair launches, free mints like Neo Tokyo, all of these things would be would be without regulatory issue. The types of tokens that are airdropped to, NFT holders for utility with that NFT, no regulation, no regulation. This is massive. This is like one of the biggest pieces. It's a complement to the other two, and it's fantastic. All three of these are like jaw hit the floor. Who's actually paying attention? Maybe these people actually care about this industry, whoever's drafting this law, because it seems to me as though this is written with a little bit of, I guess, fondness for crypto. So smash like if you like what you're hearing so far. It continues. Crypto assets that are automatically created as a reward for the maintenance of the DLT or the validation of transactions in the context of a consensus mechanism, no regulations. Okay, staking rewards. Let's just translate this. Staking rewards, no regulations. E-money, very strict regulations. Okay, let's just first touch on this. Yes, we need staking regulations to be very, very lenient, because Ethereum is about to be POS. Every big blockchain is about to be POS. And so the idea that, or, Cardano's POS, everything's moving towards proof of stake and moving away from proof of work. And so if proof of stake becomes this highly regulated thing, then it's going to ruin some of the most important innovation in the space. So this is a big win as well. Now, e-money, stablecoins, very strict regulations. This is coming. I don't think this is bad, right? Let's talk about this for a second. Stablecoins are based upon the belief, the consumer belief, that you can always redeem that coin for $1, for €1, for a blank. That is really important, that trust is maintained. And so this is a part of the industry where I think could really benefit from some regulation. Again, hopefully it's done in a smart way, but I want to know that if everything hits the fan, my USDC can be turned into $1, or that it's always worth $1. I need that certainty, right? Because otherwise, these coins are kind of the backbone of crypto. They anchor things. And if the anchor is unsound or untrustworthy, then this could cause a massive, massive systemic risk if stablecoins were to fail. So this is where I think there are some sensible talks around regulation. I would love to know that Circle has enough USDC to back, or US dollars to back its USDC. These are the things that we've all been crying foul for around Tether. And so to have this be enforced is, to me, not a bad thing if it's done with some tact and it's not done in a silly way. Then that would be awesome. Asset reference tokens, stablecoins. So this to me is a little different, because asset reference tokens could mean, hey, I'm buying a token that represents ownership, like a small part of ownership in a hotel chain or something like that. Well, I really, really would like to know if that's what I think I'm buying, that that's what I'm actually buying, and that there's some legal context that protects me as the buyer in case I actually want to, redeem that value, that someone can't just make it up and say, hey, you're buying a hotel, and really I'm not buying a hotel. So this is the stuff that I think is very normal, that if there's going to be a connection between on-chain and off-chain, again, US dollars is another asset, but they could do that. This is a much broader scope for this term. So this to me makes a lot of sense. And it's always why I wasn't so bullish on real world asset NFTs, because to me, it seems like there's a whole lot of systems and regulation missing there. Again, I don't see any problem with this. To me, this could actually build trust in the system if it's done right. Okay. Crypto assets that do not belong to any of the previously mentioned categories, e.g. payment, that do not promise a stable value, or tokens that cannot be seen as utility tokens, some regulations. So they're essentially saying, hey, look, if you're not in one of the other categories, then maybe there will be regulations. We don't know. And then exchanges, rather strict regulations. We know that this is going to come. We know that exchanges are the choke point, and they already are strictly regulated. So who cares? Like Coinbase, I already have to give them like a sample of my blood to get and trade some Dogecoin. So who cares, right? This is already coming. And we already live under this system, is my point. Now, finally, DEXs, fully decentralized exchanges in DeFi. No regulations yet, but honestly, this is huge. This is huge, to have the highest level of European government say, look, let's put through a framework that gives like free reign to DeFi, at least for a while, right? Let's see where this goes, right? This is really, really big. This is huge, especially when you combine it with this C, which is self-custody software wallets, hardware wallets, no regulations, meaning go store your crypto. We're not going to make you get KYC data off of someone you do a Dogecoin transfer with. It's just silliness, right? So overall assessment, I am pleasantly surprised. While some of you want nothing to do with regulation, which I respect, this seems like a very reasonable and a step in the right direction. I completely agree with the tone of this assessment. And I'm honestly shocked that this is what the EU Council is looking at right now. They're having no regulation, just to recap. And to me, this is just a fantastic turn of events. No regulation on NFTs, no regulation on utility tokens, no regulation on free assets, free mints, free airdrops, that stuff. No regulations on staking rewards. Some strict regulations on e-money, stable coins, exchanges, some vague comments about stuff that doesn't fit into those categories, and then no regs on DEXs or self-custody. It feels like an absolute massive win. I'm actually going to jump into some of the comments here because to me, I want to hear what the community has to say about this. To me, it feels like a massive, massive W. Let's just go ahead and hear what people have to say. I'll unpin my comment towards the salty folks. Okay, 3.3K of you in the house. We have almost 7,600 of you watching. To me, this is one of the most important episodes we've done, and understanding this regulatory climate and being prepared for these dips and understanding the benefit of the dips. This is important content. If you guys find it important, please smash that like button. There's 4,000 of you watching right now, 4,000 of you that haven't just done that one action. That's all I'm asking. One little action. It's not hard. Okay, let's go ahead and catch up here. I want to see what the comments are saying. No regulation until they decide to add more regulation. Well, I mean, hey, look, it's better than them proposing ridiculous regulation. I see a lot of people asking about Superfarm. Yep, we'll talk about Superfarm very soon. First, we're going to be rolling out the marketplace, which we'll be showing you guys very soon, and then the game. Very, very exciting times. Very, very exciting times. Are ZK rollups just ETH scalers? Is Boba one? Boba is not ZK rollups. Boba is an optimistic rollup. Somebody says, Josh Roberts says, if US follows suit equals good. I agree. Gosh, my YouTube chat is being slow. Okay, now it's being too fast. UFO gaming, yes, yes, yes. We agree. No regulation equals no tax. This has nothing to do with taxes, guys. This has nothing to do with taxes. Starknet, yep. Price prediction for UFO. Okay, so everyone, no one cares about this, is what I'm realizing. Everyone just wants to talk about gaming coins. Smash like if you'd rather move on from regulation and just talk about gaming coins. 4,000 of you guys in here. If we could get somewhere close to the likes to people in here, that would just be super cool. We got 7,500 of you. It would be very appreciated. It'd be very appreciated. Buy this dip seriously, says buy the dip. Okay, this chat is rolling way too fast, so I need to move on. All right. Let's talk about this. Vulcan Forged. Now, we started covering Vulcan Forged here. I think it was about here, about $9 or $10. I definitely mentioned it before, but I bought in pretty heavily around $10. It's been about a 5x now already, or 4x, I guess. It did peak up here, 44. So a little over 4x. They had some really great news here. Some nice exchange listings going on. They got Binance going on. They've got Gate, KuCoin. And yeah, in general, like this is one of the more developed game studios, and they're more advanced than some of the game studios that have been pumping really hard. You're looking at Gala and Vulcan Forged as like more game studio plays. And of course, those have been having incredible growth. Them and Sandbox shipping their game. What do we see? Games are the key. And so the projects that ship games are going to be completely in control here. Now, what's really important that you understand as we're going into this dip, this correction, is to look at what happened with AXS last time, because this to me is hugely instructional, hugely instructional, which is what happened to Axie Infinity last time we went into a very strong bear was that it became hyper-focused by the rest of the market, because this was the bear, right? We had this huge collapse from, almost $11 down to 3 or whatever. And then what we saw was it bottomed here around $3. And then we got it shooting up to, what is it? All-time high was 164. So it did a 50x here from there, more than 50x. And that's what I expect to happen. That's what I hope is going to happen, at least with the next correction, which is that games and NFTs will start to stand out again. So there's two ways to look at this dip if you want to play it, which is one, I'm just a massive bull on gaming projects. So if gaming projects come down, it makes me want them more because I think that they will go up in the future. But two, the actual in-game assets, specifically NFTs on Ethereum, will probably flourish once again if ETH fees come down and the market gets boring. A boring market with low gas fees is the key to NFT deliverance. Now, what we see here is a price chart showing. This price chart shows what happened to NFT volume as it pertains to ETH fees. And if we look here, you can see that very clearly what we have is a growth, a nice spike of ETH price matched with a complete devastation crash of OpenSea sales. And so when you see this, what we're seeing is increasing data that shows very clearly that as ETH spikes, NFTs drop and their trading volume drops and everything drops. And as ETH rises, we see again that NFTs drop. So, and then as ETH rises, we see again that NFTs drop, and as ETH drops, we see NFTs rise. This is this relationship we've seen. And so what I'm very excited about is there's two ways to look at the current drop, right? We could say, okay, either Bitcoin is just reaccumulating on a little dip here, and we're going to see a massive blast off to new all-time highs in the very near future. Based on what Crown is telling me, it sounds as though we might be in this chop for a while. Now, Crown is pretty good at, time analysis is hard to do, but usually when Crown tells me, hey, this is going to take a couple of weeks, it usually takes a couple of weeks to work out. Now, this is still macro bullish. So if this takes a few weeks, maybe if it takes longer than that, what we'll see is that people will get a little bored of the mainstream crypto markets, which for the last few months have been really ridiculously white hot. I mean, look, we had 50x gains in UFO. We had 20x gains in like literally just nonstop crazy, or in Gala games. We had nonstop gains in crypto gaming, just like I was excited about. It happened even more dramatically and beautifully than I had imagined. And here we are looking at another correction. And that correction now could mean that one of two things happens. Either it's a short correction, we bounce back up, altcoins and crypto go start printing money again. Great. That's awesome. Or what we might see is if this extends a little bit longer and gets boring long enough and gas fees get low enough, then we start seeing a magical return to NFTs. And of course, I believe a refocusing again, which again plays into the hand on gaming, the type of refocusing that would allow for Axie Infinities and the sandboxes and all these coins to make their way dramatically up the charts, as everything else is tied to Bitcoin. But again, my thesis on gaming has always been that it's bear market resistance, if not bear market proof. And this would be an amazing time to test that theory and see if this gaming sector can just overpower and sort of buck the overall market trend. It would be the most important moment, in my opinion, in crypto history to see a category of coins decouple from Bitcoin. It would be the most important and most healthy thing possible for the industry. Again, I do think that that's happening eventually, but it would be great to see it happen soon. And then we wouldn't have to worry about bear markets or cycles or anything like that. We'd just be riding this gaming wave upwards into infinity. Now, let's talk a little bit about the coins that obviously exemplify or sort of paint this picture. We see Sandbox not really dipping on this day. We see Vulcan Forged at all-time highs pretty much. UFO is honestly, yeah, it's down about 12%. All right, so UFO is got hit quite hard, but the reality is it's up more than anything else over the last few months. There's just no chart that's this bullish, this in Gala Games. And so the question here is what's going to happen with Ethereum. If Ethereum continues to get crushed, then we very well might see a winter wonderland effect on gaming, on NFTs in specific, which quite frankly, I know a lot of NFT heads are looking to see this market come raging back. I believe that it's a matter of time before NFT market comes raging back. And a great example, a great catalyst for this would be Coinbase NFT, which has got to be coming soon. Now, in the meantime, I'm super excited because Immutable X is filling the gap here, and it's providing an intermediary. And there's some amazing projects coming to Immutable X soon. Namely, on Monday, there is the Highrise Creature Club drop on the Superfarm Immutable X launchpad. Now, this is completely whitelisted. So for the first 3 hours, there will be a whitelist. However, this is one of the, in my opinion, the most underpriced drop. There's going to be zero gas fees because it's on Immutable X. And I'm going to be coming out with a video in the next couple of days showing you how to bridge your funds super easy to just quickly set up an Immutable X account and get ready, because at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on Monday morning, 10 a.m. PST on Monday morning, there is going to be the whitelist drops. So it will be open season. Now, the beautiful thing about Immutable X is it takes a couple of steps to get over there, which means for a lot of people, they'll get lazy, they'll forget, something will happen, the dog will eat their car keys, whatever. There's going to be a chunk of NFTs that are left over right when that whitelist drops at 10 a.m. PST. And in my opinion, this is one of the best, most interesting NFT projects to get into that I've seen come up in the last several months. It's minting for 0.04 ETH. So when this whitelist drops, I believe there will probably be probably maybe 2,000 to 3,000, maybe a little more NFTs left over. And that's where there will be pretty much no limit on how many you can buy. So people can get ready for that moment, because I know some whitelisters are going to get lazy and mess up. So if you didn't win the whitelist competition, just know you still have a chance. But in my opinion, this is one of the most high quality, high utility plays in NFT in recent memory. This project has 13 million users already. It's a mobile metaverse with 13 million users. The app has been around and live since 2013, I think. So they're a very, very seasoned project. They're backed by Y Combinator. Where's that logo? They're backed by Y Combinator, as well as Elio Trades here and Superfarm. So this is a really, really high quality project. Definitely, if you're looking for an NFT play, this to me is easy, like a very easy thing to look at, because it's so cheap and it's also gasless, and it's also a very real working product with millions of users. So if you like the metaverse play, this is one for you. Definitely check it out. Okay, so there you have it. This is how, just to recap for those people who just joined, right? These types of washes are really good for Bitcoin, because the longer this cycle goes on, right? The longer this cycle sort of ebbs and flows, the higher the price targets for Bitcoin and the more monster trend runs we can hop on, right? And so gaming has been a monster trend. It's going to continue to be. It's just getting started. I promise. I believe that in my soul. 2, we have ZK Rollups. ZK Rollups is another mega trend just getting started. There's currently only a few really dominant ones, but there's going to be all kinds of new projects coming out to jump on the hype. And there's probably going to be a bunch of probably low quality ones that people jump on and FOMO into anyway, because that's how us degens work. But the reality is that ZK Rollups, in my opinion, are going to be a mega trend. And the longer this bull market goes on, the longer the liquidity stays here in crypto land, the more that these can all be life-changing moments for those playing this game. Now, If Bitcoin drops below 40,000, we can have another conversation. But for now, this to me is healthy. The longer the cycle goes on, the better. And the shorter the cycle, it would unfortunately be over too soon in my mind, because all of the good stuff is just starting to ship right now. Anyway, so the longer it goes on, the better. This dip, if it takes a while to sort of work its way out, would be very healthy, because that would mean that we're pushing the ultimate cycle top into mid 2022, which would be awesome. Okay, so long cycle, good. Crash and correction. For the people who think that because I put bullish titles all the time, then I don't talk about in every single video that these things crash and correct as they go parabolic, understand that you have to take one with the other. If you want 50x gains, you have to be ready for some pretty heavy red days as well. The smart people buy the red days and they sell the green days. Over time, you'll learn to do that too. As we get deeper into the red here, maybe you'll learn to prepare yourself to make more of a significant buy at that moment instead of getting scared and selling. So longer cycle, good. Red days equal opportunities, and they'll also extend the opportunities to get on mega trends. In this particular setback, I expect if the entire market gets really boring, for gaming coins to perform. And I also expect for NFTs to experience their inverse relation to Ethereum, which low ETH equals bullish NFTs, high ETH equals bearish NFTs. So this is something that will open up, once again, in my opinion, one of the biggest money printers that I've ever seen in my life, which is NFTs, right? I bought Bored Apes for like a half an ETH, a quarter of an ETH, and ETH was at, where was ETH at this point? Because ETH was cheaper. Let's see, I believe ETH was, let me see, I think it was like, yeah. So I was buying half ETH NFTs for Bored Ape Yacht Club here. So I was spending like $1,000 on a Bored Ape, or not quite. It was like end of May. So I was getting it. Yeah. So yeah, similarly. So towards this end of May, June period, when I was getting into Bored Apes and really getting excited about them, they were still under an ETH, a lot of them. And then they made this run. And I mean, I've gotten offers on my apes for over 100 ETH. So easily 100x growth, but really it's more like 400x in USD, because ETH is 4x where it was, what we paid for it, or it's 2x what we paid for it, and it's 100x. Anyway, stop, my brain hurts. The point is getting into NFTs and getting this kicked off again in combination with Coinbase NFT, right? Because Coinbase NFT is coming. Let's go ahead and bring this up. Coinbase NFT is on its way. So let's just imagine that we get a cool off in Ethereum. Well, come with me along this journey here. We get a cool off in Ethereum, gas fees go down, Coinbase NFT launches, and once again, we get millions of users for their first time buying NFTs, starting to interact with this marketplace. All of a sudden, the Coinbase listings for NFT projects become like Coinbase listings for coins, and boom, you get a whole bunch of normies piling in, hodling, believing, displaying, participating in the culture. We're all gonna make it. That's what it feels like. Okay, so longer cycle, good. Gaming coins during the bear market, good. NFTs during a bear market, good. And I say bear market in massive air quotes because it wasn't a bear market. It was just a correction. All of these things present opportunities if you know how to look at them. I hope that while we're experiencing this horrific crash, this disgusting crash, a bloody red day, right after Thanksgiving, to me, I get excited because this is where the pros come out to do their work. This is where you can start getting hungry as other people get fearful. And this is why hopefully this channel can help you from maybe avoiding some panic, some emotional decisions, and maybe getting excited to make some highly calculated counter trend decisions that could get you ahead of the herd. Let's dive in. Let's take some comments here. Let me hear what you guys have to say about this. But these are the days that make people money if you know how to look at them. Elio, why don't you answer my super chats? Sorry, I didn't see them. Somebody said Strange Clan. Please check out Mega Weapon. I don't know what that is. I own an electricity company in Texas. Could I deploy a utility token to benefit my customers? Tim Lin, that's a very interesting question. Maybe it's a much more complex question, unfortunately, than what you've just let out there. Somebody's talking about some projects. Again, if you're super chatting me just random projects, I usually won't get those. Sorry. So I'm just snapping out of my long rant, and I'm not seeing any of the super chats. I'm not seeing any of the super chats. So I'm not sure if I missed them. I apologize. Half blind, half amazing. If you are to chat again, I'll try to see it. Half blind. Okay, so I'm just seeing you spam over and over again. Why aren't you talking my super chats? I don't know what to say. Accessibility in crypto for disabled people. What do you think? I don't know what that means. I don't understand why crypto wouldn't be accessible to disabled people. Thoughts on unstoppable domains? Yeah, it's cool. The .eth ones are. Thoughts on UFO? Come on, come on. Don't ask me questions like that. When Superfarm dropping big news? We have a really big announcement that we're curating right now. We are dog fooding and testing internally one of our biggest product release ever, and so we'll be teasing that, showing that base toolkit that is important primitive for the rest of the ecosystem. Again, I don't want to leak too much because I want it to hit and slap really hard as we release it. Thank you, Crypto Bud, for the follow. Shout out to Crypto Banter. We love Ran and the team over there and all the fun conversations, the degenerate conversations over there. Big shout out to my Banter fam. Yo, I wanted to talk about this as well. We had this like massive, okay. Again, we also got this new variant, this new COVID variant that everyone's freaking out about. Okay, okay, just in a nutshell, no, we're not doing that. We know what happened last time. If we lock down again, that would be the best thing ever for crypto. Lockdown, massive money printing. What happened last time? Up only, up without any thought of going down ever again. That's what happened since the first pandemic. So if we go to pandemic mode again, where we're locked down, and then we have to print more money, guess what people will be doing during the pandemic? Looking for any ways to make money, trying to inject cash, this free cash, into whatever isn't being printed into oblivion, and playing video games. It is the most insanely bullish thing for crypto gaming, metaverse projects, NFTs I've ever heard in my life. If we lock down again, so to me, the whole new strain, new variant pandemic worry is like the ultimate gift. I know it's really scary, but the reality is for the markets, it would be a gift. Tell me the next 100x, Elio. Law, love you, man. You changed my life with your content. Thank you, newbie Cryptooby. You absolutely rock. I appreciate the super chat. For the Highrise, do we need ETH on IMX wallet or on MetaMask like for IMX Crows? Whatever works, as long as it's over on Immutable X. You don't need to use the Immutable X wallet. You can use MetaMask completely. So yeah, I'm going to be coming out with a video this weekend, which is just how to bridge your funds over to Immutable X. It's a really simple and easy video. It's going to be like 30 seconds because it's really easy. If you go to immutable.com, it's super, super easy here. All you have to do is go over to the marketplace and then you hit connect wallet here. I actually have a wallet connected. I'm going to disconnect it just in case it shows one of my personal wallets. But if you go in here and you hit marketplace, you can connect your wallet. A little pop-up comes up. It takes about 2 seconds, and then you just send funds to an address. It literally takes like 10 seconds to get set up. But just go over there, bridge over like 1 Ethereum or however much you want to spend, and get ready for that drop, because at 10 a.m. PST on Monday, the whitelist will drop and the opportunity for people to get into this ultra blue chip NFT drop that actually has a working metaverse you can use your NFTs in right now, and they have plans for play to earn. Really, really cool stuff. So, big shout out to the Highrise team. I'm super excited to be working with them. All right, back into these Qs and these As. Neo Tokyo news, big Neo Tokyo news coming. I can't drop it though. I want Becker to drop it. It's going to be super. Oh my God, Neo Tokyo is so fun. It's like this extremely cool social experiment. The team there, the community there is producing work product like I've never seen any community do. The organization and the work product is just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Hypno Sniper says, I want to thank you for all you do and for staying humble through all of your success. Def, one of the few influencers I constantly follow. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Very kind words. That stuff makes my day, guys, for real. People who are shilling me random projects in the super chats, I apologize. I don't want to read them because they can be taken out of context. So I apologize. Ooh. JRNY NFT Club. I'm not in yet. Not in yet. I wanted to let it settle out. And of course, you know, to be clear, I support JRNY and buying his NFTs. I don't want to ever get anything for free just because I'm a buddy of somebody. I know that people on these hyped launches, it creates a lot of negativity to see one influencer just get like a sort of free entry or a preferred entry. So I figured I would enter in on the same footing as anyone else. But I am going to grab a JRNY NFT. I have literally no idea what he's planning. I know JRNY. He's a nice guy. I literally have no idea what he has planned. So I can't comment on any of that. But, you know, I, out of solidarity, support any of my friends who have projects. I'll usually buy in. What is the water bottle brand I drink from? This is... I actually don't know. I don't know. I got it on Amazon. Check it out. Amazon.com. Feel free to sponsor the channel, Bezos. I heard you talk about Sidus Heroes project. Have you checked out the in-game NFTs? Thoughts? I have not seen their in-game NFTs. I've invested into the ecosystem token. Yeah, their actual PFP, I remembered not being overwhelmingly excited about it, but, you know, we'll see. Why is Superstarter not launching any game IDOs? There's actually a reason for this. We'll explain more about that. Somebody says, thanks for Neo Tokyo, Chris Hancock's. It will potentially allow me to buy a house just from some free mints insane holding for now. This is what the promise of Neo Tokyo was all about, creating a social experiment that could truly change everyone's life inside of it. And it's just beginning, really. It's just beginning. So amazing things ahead for Neo Tokyo. In my opinion, it's the most important experiment in NFTs so far. The next most important thing that'll happen in NFTs will be the Imposter's Genesis drop, which will be the the kernel, the atomic building block of the Imposter's metaverse. It's going to be an absolutely insane drop. Somebody said FBI has joined the chat. Shout out from Australia. Ow, 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 ow. Is it possible to invest in Neo Tokyo now? Yeah, it's always been. You're not investing in our project. You're just buying someone else's identity. Thanks for the stream, Elio. Thoughts on gaming guilds? Yeah, gaming guilds are really important. Gaming guilds have been crushing it. Like, oh, shoot. If we check this out, Merit Circle, wow, it got crushed today. But gaming guilds like Merit Circle, you have gaming guilds like YGG. YGG is the original. And so these are the projects that are really making waves here. Where is it? Merit Circle's like 380 mil, YGG's like 630 mil. It's interesting, right? It's an interesting model, having like a formalization around the back end of building guilds to earn stuff within games. Really interesting stuff. So yeah, this is a model that's sticking around for sure, for sure. All right. Well, listen, longer cycle, good. Crash. No, we're not done with the bull market. Winter wonderland for NFTs and gaming. That's what I think is going to happen if we do enter into a real bearish trend. I don't think that's where we're at just yet. If this takes a while to work its way out, I wouldn't be surprised to see NFTs make a move. I'm not positioning too much because I'm holding so many NFTs still. Even though I did liquidate a lot of things moving into October, I still hold a lot of NFTs. So I think Coinbase NFT is going to set off a nice little round of FOMO and excitement for NFTs. And then finally, it would be very, very, very exciting to see what happens with ZK rollups when they start rolling out. There's probably going to be some lower cap ZK rollups that could be of high interest and high opportunity. Make sure that if you do want to participate, in my opinion, in the first NFT drop that I've been very excited about in a while, make sure you're there for the Highrise drop. Go follow the Superfarm DAO Twitter and make sure you're ready on Superfarm for when that whitelist drops for Highrise, because there will be leftover NFTs, and the people that are there waiting for that will have an awesome opportunity to get into that project. As always, I thank you guys so much for all the support. 8,000, 8,500 of you in this stream. If you guys got value out of it, please smash that like button. Oh, I forgot. We got the biggest piece of regulatory policy update that we've had in the entire space that could enter into law at the highest level of EU government and potentially influence the United States and China. Wow. Absolutely massive stuff. No regulations on NFTs, no regulations on utility tokens, no regulations on DEXs, no regulations on self-custody. This is the promised land that we have been fighting for. This is what true freedom and independence and growth and innovation will look like if this passes. And I'm very, very excited for it. As always, I thank you guys so much for watching. Happy late Thanksgiving. Happy Black Friday to those of you out there shopping. I hope you get the deals of your lifetime. I'm Elio Trades. You can follow me on Twitter at Elio Trades. Link is in the description. I thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you very soon on the next episode.